We're live. Ta-da! Somebody's on there. Somebody jumped on quick. Our camera's crooked. Let's see if I can fix it real quick. It'll be alright. Okay. How y'all doing? Let us know if you're watching this live. Type live in the comments. I'm curious of if you're watching live or if you are watching a replay. If you're watching a replay, type replay. We have got a video coming out tonight. We've somehow accumulated 8 used bows, and we're gonna make a video. It'll come out. Give me an hour or two to get it done. But I'm gonna put it up tonight, and you can call us tomorrow or whenever if you need any of those bows. We done took in several Matthews and PSCs and Expeditions and all kind of stuff. But give me a little while. I'll post them all on a video. We got some questions. If y'all got any questions, as usual, just punch them in, and we'll get to them in a minute.
Yep.
But thanks for tuning in. We're here. It's hot. I got shorts on.
Yeah. Let's see. Mike gets in and says, "What's your favorite color bow Prime makes?"
TJ's got it.
The purple.
No. The
Oh,
scar.
the Morel Scar. Yeah, that's a good color.
You ought to show them that thing.
Oh, Lord. Let me walk in here and get her.
This thing, in the book, it was like, it looked good, but you couldn't tell. We went to the show, and this thing is pretty sharp. I think with like a flow orange string. Oh, yeah. But, in a solid color, like, there's a couple good ones. I got one of those prism colors and the inline 5 that just came in and all that stuff. There's TJ's Morel Scar. It's like a dark 3-color camo. And you could either make like a dark string and match it, or you could make a real bright string like a flow orange or flow green. It'd be sharp. It would be sharp.
Oh.
But I think that's my favorite color this year. I got that prism color to shoot tournaments with, and it just looks kind of gray unless you in like the bright sun, you know what I mean? But then it turns like green and blue and orange and all this stuff.
Yeah, the Morel Scar is probably this year, but I don't know. I kind of like the purple that I've got that they did a few years ago.
I agree. I think it was, because it's like a deep purple. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
It's a deep purple.
Let's see. Larry says, "What's the fastest chrono speed you have witnessed?"
One time I seen, I don't remember the exact number, but it was right at 400 feet per second. And basically, this has been, honestly, it could have been over 20 years ago, but it was the Matthews Black Max, and a guy basically said, "I don't care if it blows it up, I want to see what it'll do." And he took a, I don't remember what kind of arrow, some real lightweight, like 500 or 600 spine carbon arrow, and shot it through there, and it was smoking. It was like 390 or 390 something, I can't remember, but it sounded like it dry fired that bow, and I was like, dude. But if I remember right, he bought a new bow and was like, I don't care if what happens, I just want to see what it'll do. And I'm like, yeah, but we also don't want an arrow sticking in your arm.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Let's see. Paul asked, "How far should I be prepared to walk at TAC in Tennessee? Hope to see us there." I think we only shot the one day last year, and I think we walked 5 or 6 miles, maybe 8. But yeah. I know the first year we went and we did the 2 courses, I think we did something like 20 miles. I think
it's a good bit of walking.
Maybe not 20. What am I thinking?
I think you said 14 or
14,
16.
15, somewhere in there. It was close to 20.
But yeah, probably a good 5 miles a day is a good estimate. Because I mean, by the time the targets are spaced far apart, and then you got to walk down there and back, 100 yards or 100 and whatever yards to get your arrows. So,
Brandon says, "What size peak for 3D rig?"
A lot of people we see are running an 1/8 inch, sometimes a smidgen smaller, but that's kind of normal. Maybe a click bigger, maybe a click smaller, but nothing huge. You know what I mean?
Neil asked, "Why do people want to shoot 80 to 100 pound draw?"
It baffles me too, Neil.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I was going to go to Africa or something, maybe I would consider it. But around here, I think it's just in the 80s and early 90s. I remember the macho days of people shooting 80-pound bows and big and bad, and then that kind of went away. And now I feel like it's back a little bit. I don't know if that's like a Cameron Haynes thing but we sell a few 80-pounders a year.
I think it's a lot of people wanting to run these super heavy airs, high FOC airs, and they want to get some speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're running that higher poundage to compensate for the speed. Let's see, if Daniel gets in and says, if I buy a string set and store it, does it go bad?
No, it's waxed. As long as you don't store it in like sunlight or any kind of weird, super damp, basically it's fine. You know what I mean? I'd keep it in the shipping bag. It's already in a sealed Ziploc inside that. You're basically good. I mean, it's not really going to dry out because it's got a lot of wax in it just from the factory. You know what I mean? So if 10 years passed, I might would look at it, but several years we've had some in there for several years packaged up that somebody didn't pick up or whatever, and you can take them out and they feel just like when we made them. You know what I mean? So I hadn't seen any bad juju over a few years of storing them.
Bill gets in and says, how bad does heat and cold hurt bows?
The heat can affect it a lot. I've seen somebody arguing on Facebook saying that their limbs were made out of aluminum on a new bear bow, and everybody's like, no. Limbs are made out of fiberglass with resin and all that sort of thing in it. So you get them hot, that resin is going to heat up and come apart. And, I would think super duper extreme cold, -20 or whatever, probably is not great either. But the heat by far is way worse. People in the summer, people leave them in their car at work and then bring them in here for us to work on, and we grab them and can barely touch them. And it's like, for one, we definitely ain't pulling it back when it's this hot. Two, you might as well wait an hour or something for it to cool down.
Yep.
It's just don't let them get that hot.
We took a thermometer one time, one of them laser thermometers, and what was it, 100 and something degrees?
Like 130 or 40 degrees. I got one in there. I hit a riser a guy brought in. And that's just crazy.
Yeah. Zach wants to know if we'll be testing broadheads again.
I've already got a pack of the V2 Mega Meats, wasn't it, or something like that, dead meat, whatever. I need to test them, and we may just do a one-off on them. But I need to reach out to some broadhead companies and see if anybody. We talked to a few at the shows, but I don't know. But yeah, we'll probably do some more before too long.
Eugene gets in and says, how many dry fires do y'all see a year in the shop?
This may be astonishing, but we, to my knowledge, have only had one in 8 years at this shop. We try to not let anybody just snatch a bow back with their fingers. We try to give them the safety release, this welded hook, no trigger. And as short and high let off as bows are now anyway, it don't take much to get that thing back and twist that string, letting it down and derail it. So we try to at least have a loop on the bow and give them that safety release. But one bow has been dry fired in here, believe it or not.
That's crazy. Best way to check for cracked limbs, that comes in from Alan.
Basically a cotton ball. PSE used to have an x-ray machine. You could send them your limbs if it was a PSE, and they'd x-ray them and check them. I don't know if they still, I hadn't heard anything about that thing in 20 years, but they had it actually on their 18-wheeler trucks. But yeah, just a cotton ball and your fingers basically is it. There's no anything magic other than that.
Charles wants to know, is it safe to shoot a bow with a broke strand?
I have in like an emergency, or like, here's an example. One time I rode about 6 hours to shoot a tournament, got there and noticed my specialty Pete, I think this was probably 2002, was cutting my like 2 strands on my string. I didn't really have a choice, you know what I mean? I was shooting for this championship thing, so I shot it. It did get worse in those 25 or so shots, but it didn't blow up. But as soon as I got back, I restrung it. So I wouldn't just shoot it knowing it's cut And you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do that. But if you got to shoot, more than likely you'll be okay for a few shots, but don't just keep on shooting it.
Mm-hmm. I had the same thing happen with mine was it last week, week before last?
Yep.
Let's see. Mike wants to know, how do I remove old serving on a string?
Basically, just a sharp knife or razor, lay it down basically flat with a string until it taps the serving, and just barely get it nicked, but don't get into the bowstring or it'll be a bad day. A bad day.
Let's see. Do we have any recommendations on saddle hunting kit? Any advice on Amazon Hawk Helium setup?
TJ's the saddle man.
Well, I've been doing a lot of research last probably year because I want to get into it myself. I've talked to several people that this is all they do. I mean, they've got some money tied up in it, and they say the Hawks are not the best quality. I don't know. Partaine's boy Charlie's got one of the Hawk Heliums, or hammock, I think they're called. As far as sticks, I'm still green and all that. I've seen stuff on Facebook. There's a bunch of different saddle groups on Facebook. Jump in them. I'm looking into it myself, and I'm like, I don't want to put a lot of money in it in case I don't like it, but I'm looking at a trophy line kit, I think, is what I'm going to try to get myself. So, like I said, I'm still greenhorn on that. Let's see. I got a bowstring from you guys, installed it. I need to make sure they're correct and safe, so I need to drop it off. I'm sure the draw weight needs to be upped. I've yet to shoot it.
Say what, bud?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we'll scope it out for you. Bring it on.
I'm going through here. Have we got any Bloodline in? I'm going, no, it's...
Bloodline, here's a quick synopsis of Bloodline. I have thought 100 times about completely switching us to Bloodline, but in our current example, as with everything else to the COVID mess or archery mess or whatever, I don't know when they're going to ship us any. We've got orders in, hadn't got any of it. You know, with BCY, I can have stuff in a couple days. And it's not that I hate BCY, it's just to me, their wax consistency is not the same spool to spool. You know, we'll get one spool, let's just say black, this great, and then we'll get another spool and it's just covered in wax, and we're trying to strip it out. The Bloodline's consistent with that no wax deal. But anyway, we've got a couple weird colors in, you know, that we've had. I don't even remember. It's all silver and a purple and this and another. But no, our big order still hadn't showed up. I hadn't heard any time frame on it. So if I told them at the show, I was like, why don't y'all sell to distributors or do something to where if somebody needed some, you know, quicker than a month or two, that we could get it. And they were like, well, then I don't know. But I wish if I knew, well, for one, it's substantially higher for me to buy Bloodline than BCY. I could probably get over that, but if I could just get it quick, you know what I mean, like within a couple of days. But I don't know. Yeah. I still really like it. I was still planning to put it on my Nexus, my inline that just came in. But I think I'm going to give them, honestly, I can't wait much longer. I'm going to give them about till next week, and if it ain't in, I'm on X99.
Well, that's what I'm going to have to do to mine, because we're going to have to start shooting for tack for too long. Let's see. Does taking the string off help to preserve the life of the string if not going to use it for a few months? I have a bow press, so easy enough to do. Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't have tension on it, but honestly, before I would go to all that trouble, I'd probably just back the limb bolts out and let it sit, because at rest, there's not a ton of tension on it. You know what I mean? Like at full draw, your cable is really stacking up a couple 200 pounds or something, pulling those limbs together. But at rest, everything's just kind of, you know, there's not 40, 50 pounds on it just sitting there. So I'd probably just back my limbs out I mean, you could definitely take it off, but that'd be a lot of work just to, you know.
Let's see, what spine should I shoot? Having a 31.5 inch draw length, looking to shoot 125 head, poundage at 64.
You'd probably be between a 250 and a 3.
Yeah.
Without looking at a chart. You know, and I always go stiffer if it's a question, so maybe go 250, especially if you might bump that poundage up any.
Yeah.
But I feel like either one of those would fly. But like I say, I don't have a chart in front of me, but just that's my guess.
Do we make Olympic style recurve strings?
We do. We have in the past. We don't get a ton of call for them, but yeah.
Just says he's got 2 years in the cruiser. One stick. Yeah, I'm still trying to get all that figured out myself. Are we going to the R100 next weekend in Georgia?
If it don't rain, well, we were planning to go on Friday because we really don't want to close the shop on a Saturday because it's a busier day. So we were going to sneak away on Friday, but as of right now, it's like 40 to 50% rain. So we'll see. We're going to kind of make our decision probably about Wednesday of next week. So I don't know. I hope we get to go. It's been like a year or two since we've been to it.
Yeah.
But we were hoping to shoot R100 Friday, and then Tab, one of our local places, has got one that weekend. We was gonna shoot there Sunday, but we'll see.
I hadn't even looked to see what the weather forecast looks like. But that's all I got. Let me roll back through here and make sure I didn't miss nobody.
If you missed it earlier, we have got about 8 used bows that have floated through, and I'm gonna have a video come out here shortly in an hour or two tonight, probably at 8 or 9, with all those bows and the prices and all that. And if anybody wants any of them, you can give us a holler tomorrow, and you either come get them or we can ship them or whatever, and that'll be good. But anyway, look for that video here in the next hour or two. I'm gonna get them all rounded up and put a little video together.
Which Matthews, Larry, if you're still on here, which one are you talking about? I somehow missed it.
Yeah, we got the R100 coming up this weekend. Kiwi's got the 5-spot indoor shoot. Check it out. I think they got 2 or 3 lines that are full, but I think it said Sundays open at 9 and 12, and Saturday afternoon still had some spots open. The next weekend's R100 and Tab, and I can't remember what's after that, but several shoots coming up.
Yeah, I can't remember. Kiwis after Tab at the end of the month.
Yeah.
The 19th and 20th. And then it starts the 900 round is at Sand Dunes. So it's the busy time of the year for shoots. But yeah, that's all I got.
That'd be it. Well, if y'all got any questions we can answer on the next one, post them up. And like I say, if you're watching live, real quick, punch live into the comments, because I like to keep up with like how many people are watching live versus replay. And if you're watching it after we get off here, type in replay. Just I want to keep up, see how many people. We enjoy doing these live things.
Oh yeah,
we ain't planning on quitting or nothing, but
no.
I just like to look at the ratio of who's live and who y'all going. Oh, you already answered that. I just like to keep up with the ratio. But anyway, let us know if we can do anything for you.
Yep.
It's been a pretty productive last, I guess, week. We got Saturday. We got in stringing mode. We had a bunch of bows in to get strings put on, and basically, you know, we got them all done, and that was good. And then we've been chugging away at strings, so we're getting more caught up. Victory shipped a big part of our order finally. That'll be here next week. We ordered a bunch of random stuff from them, but I was kind of getting ill because it's been 3 months basically since we ordered it, and they acted like the stuff would ship pretty quick. But anyway, it's just the times we're in, I guess.
Yep.
But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Check out my video in an hour or two. I got 8 bows. A couple Matthews, couple PSEs, Expeditions, And then I can basically just call us tomorrow, and we can get them sold to you. And then in that video, I'll put sold or whatever at the bottom once they're sold. But I don't even remember what all we got. Let me get in there and put this video together, and then I'll post it in a minute. And y'all just let us know if you need any of them. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all.